What's going on, people? It's coming to you once again with another video. And this is might actually kind of shock you of what I'm seeing right now in the market and why I believe that Bitcoin may be bottoming right here. I'm going to get into why I believe this and show you what I'm seeing with the technicals of why I'm making this statement. Do I think this is the ultimate bottom and we see a higher high? I'm not sure about that, but I think we will see a more significant rally. But of course, you've got to break back above certain levels. But let's get into what I'm seeing right now. First, starting off in a daily time scale. We had this low back in June. We, rallied, just bear flagged, and we're selling off again. You broke that bear flag to the downside, and you're right now you're still above. Uh, well, actually, on the daily, you close below that June low, and now you're starting to. Today, you're starting to get a bigger impulse up. But what I'm seeing and why I'm a little bit more, a lot more optimistic where we see higher prices. If you look at the RSI, the daily RSI, you are getting some bullish daily divergence, which is a positive thing. You're not getting on the MACD, which is unfortunate, but you are getting on the RSI. But another indicator that I use, I turn on from time to time, is the TDI GM, and it really just combines a few indicators all into one, like the Bollinger Bands, a few moving averages, like some baseline, like from like a standard deviation baseline, is all rolled into one. And what I've been watching on this indicator is the fact that since January of 2021, actually, we have been in this consolidation pattern. And you can see from you can see the peaks and the lows. It's where we have pivoted from the tops to the bottoms. So you had your top in, we'll go back to January of 2021. You had a top around like 42,000. I've been stating on like Twitter and telling people that when we broke 42,000, that's why it was so significant. That was your top in January. You can see on this TDIJM, that was your peak. And ever you kept making lower highs on this indicator, signaling divergence, bearish divergence. Is one of the reasons back in April and May of 2021, I was very bearish. The simple fact that we kept making this divergence on this indicator in a significant time frame, and then going to your next major peak back in October 2021. It was the high before the ultimate high. You had you had again made a bigger peak, but a higher peak, but not a higher peak from the January high. I mean, you could really just, if you really wanted to be technical, you could just use the consolidation from just January to May, and you can see you have your breakout. But like I said, this is a larger pattern. So you had your high, and then you made your November high, and was again another reason why I was so bearish back in November. I was using the indicator plus with your RSI and your MACD all combined with the rising wedge pattern. It was all indicating on your daily time scale that you were losing, that the bulls were losing momentum, and you could see a significant sell-off. And then your next peak was back in March, when you had that rally from your low 32K to 48K, 48.5. And then again, you were just bear flagging. you rolled over, you made another low, consolidated, and you could see with that consolidation, you had a weaker peak and you had a lower low. But now, what's interesting is you're having a lower low on the daily, but you're having a higher peak on the TDIJM. That is bullish divergence on this indicator, combined with the RSI bullish divergence, and you are locally starting to pivot to develop some bullish divergence on the TDIJM. I keep saying it's GM, but this indicator is, like I said, I like to use it on larger time frames. It really, combined with your traditional MACD and RSI bullish divergence or bearish divergence or any type of divergence, it is a good indicator to see if there is a confirmation of that divergence with this indicator. And so that is one reason why I'm starting to get extremely bullish. And also, just look at the sentiment there with whether it's Twitter or it's any other social media. A lot of people are either not talking about crypto or they're expecting lower prices. Even I was expecting, we would make this, double top target. When you make these targets, when you have these patterns, we could make this target in time, but it's just right now the momentum is definitely being lost to the bears. Also, so that's what I'm seeing on the daily time scale. But when you look at the weekly time scale, which we're looking at even more promising, when you're looking at your MACD, for every low we have had made and pivot points we have made higher amounts of negative momentum. That is, bullish divergence. There's triple MACD bullish divergence. You had your low. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This is not a low and a lower low. It's just your last two lows. You had, you had your low, and then you had your low in June. You are, you did develop, MACD bullish divergence, and it is, it's playing out, but it's extremely weak. That's not that positive. But then when you go again to your TDI GM, looking at your weekly indicator, when you get to these levels, you typically see a rally to the upside. This is the Coinbase chart. Let me go to the BLX, which I have the most. We have the most information on a weekly. And you can see this is actually your lowest point on this indicator, and it's divergent as well. You hit the bottom of the bands. If you know Bollinger Bands, typically when you break below the bands or break above, you tend to get to the median baseline. And I think that will be at least your target, but I'm expecting actually a more significant rally. Also, you can see like in this indicator, you do have a wedge. It seems like from your November, yeah, kind of have like a falling wedge within the pattern within an indicator. So, I mean, it's just the fact that right now, this chart updates every 24 hours. So at 12 o'clock, it will update. Go back to the Coinbase chart. It's just the fact that you're losing momentum to the downside. Bears are losing momentum, and it's looking. You have some other indications that that momentum is, getting exhausted, and so I'm expecting a rally. Now, how significant will it be? Well, it'll depend. At first we got to get back above, this 19,000 like 550 area. It was very significant for the past week. You kept bouncing off of it, making lower highs every time, and you finally rolled over. you made a measure move. Maybe you're just coming back to back test it and you're rolling over more. But I just looking at the longer term timescales, I just don't see that. I think it's more likely that we do see a more significant rally, at least at the very least, a retrace rally from the previous peak to its low. So anywhere from 21,100 to about 22,700 at the minimum. Um, but honestly, with this type of momentum shift, I'm expecting to break the highs back in August. And that will develop into what is a double bottom. I mean, it's going to probably be choppy. It's probably going to take some time, and there's going to be a lot of fake outs to the downside. But it just seems right now like the bulls, I mean, well, the bears have lost momentum, and this, crypto is a very momentum based asset. When you are getting, the negative momentum like we have had for the past about what 10 months now, um, you you will get weak rallies to the upside. I mean, in percentage gains, they're not weak if you understand leverage and how to use that as a strategy. But these rallies don't sustain themselves, and you see lower lows. Right now, that momentum to the bearish side seems to be at the very least just starting to weaken. Um, so even if we don't, say we do go to the 19,550 area to test it and then roll over again, I'm not expecting, uh, with this type of price action, um, a significant drop unless, something major happens within, the broader economy. And then one of the last reasons why I'm just starting to change my stance on, Bitcoin itself is actually the euro. Is this something I've been actually been keeping my eye on the last few weeks, very um, daily, basically. Simply because I was looking at the daily, we had this downtrend. We've been in this downtrend since February. Um, if you scroll out more, you'll start to see what I was seeing. We were actually in a bigger downtrend. You broke out, you had a false breakout and you were consolidating and you broke the consolidation bearishly. And with that breaking that consolidation bearishly, you've just been in this channel. Um, this, bearishly in this channel. But what I've been watching has been this development of bullish divergence on the daily. You were actually last week, mid last week or late last week, it was actually playing out to the bullish side. And then, there was some, bearish news that came out, pushed the price down again for the last like 3 or 4 days. That selling pressure showed itself to not be strong enough to keep that momentum to the downside. And you have confirmed bullish divergence on the daily, on your MACD. You're starting to get, you're getting positive momentum now. You look at your RSI, you had bullish divergence on the daily as well. And you look at your TDIGM, you are definitely, every lower peak, you are seeing that you're getting higher peaks on this indicator. Again, the momentum is shifting to the bullish side. This is what I look for when I'm looking to, long assets at a longer term time frame. This is potential trend changing momentum, but you have to break the downtrend. Once you break the downtrend, I think a lot more will be revealed as far as positive price action within crypto. And a lot of people that are just, pseudo bearish right now are going to be left. I'm really like, this is me bullish. I'm really looking at what's going on in the broader market, and I'm starting to get really bullish. And if you look at the DXY, I was a little premature calling the bearish divergence on the daily with the dollar, but even in that premature, I had a, there was a peak, and then around the same, around the same price, around the 108, 109 range, I was saying that there was potentially some, bearish divergence develop on the daily on the dollar. You still, are losing, momentum, positive momentum, and you are still in threat of, developing or confirming that bearish divergence on the daily on the dollar. So everything you're looking for, you need a, weaker dollar for crypto to run. You need a euro to be, marking up, and it's starting to pivot. You got to break that downtrend, but everything is indicating to me that the dollar is starting to lose its bullish momentum, and also on the weekly as well. It's a little bit too early to call on the weekly, but yeah, it's definitely, you're getting less positive momentum on the weekly MACD. So just, a lot of things are starting to shape up to the positive side for crypto. It seems, and it might seem like, you might be coming across this video and be like, oh, what the hell is this dude talking about? He doesn't know what he's talking about. We're going to keep, signing off. It's a bear market. But I'm telling you, just as I wasn't telling people in November of the momentum shifting to the bearish side, it's starting to shift to the bullish side. Unless, like I said, Europe is near crisis mode. It's something, fundamentally, changes this, then that's one thing. But I'm just going off, this is purely based off the technicals. This is purely, from my experience of where I'm seeing tops and bottoms of assets. To me, this seems like we're going to get a significant rally in crypto and BTC. And another thing that is like really interesting right now, and I mentioned this last video, was Bitcoin dominance. That we did have this, consolidation ever since May of 2021, and you're actually breaking this consolidation bearishly. You did have, daily bullish divergence. I think you still technically do have some bullish divergence, but you're not getting that pivot, and you're still building negative momentum. This potential, reversal is actually, if we close like this, it's actually null and void. So it's something I'm watching for the daily close today, at 8 p.m. And your RSI is already invalidated that bullish divergence on the Bitcoin dominance. So what is that's telling me is Alter is still going to run to, still going to outperform Bitcoin, and that's usually bullish for the crypto market. And there's a few like alt pairs that I've been charting that look really bullish right now, starting with XRP, BTC. It's been in a downtrend. Really, if you scroll out to the weekly, monthly, it's been in a downtrend for the last since 2018, honestly, since March of 2018. And actually, I can probably draw a channel here. Yeah, there was a channel that I had drawn before. You actually broke the downtrend back in March, and you've just been consolidating since March. And if you go to the daily, you can see this consolidation. You're breaking out this consolidation, and what could happen is you could, run up a little bit, back test it, and then rip higher, extremely higher. But you are breaking a downtrend that you have been in since March of, actually, yeah, it was May 2021. But really, the more consolidation, the previous, the more current consolidation has been since August of 2021. It's been a year. You're breaking out it bullishly. You see this rounding action you having with this BTC pair. That's accumulation. That's like an accumulation pattern. It looks hella bullish to me. Another BTC pair that I was looking at, BCH, Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash. Like Bitcoin Cash has been trashed this whole, cycle. Um, again, another asset that you were in a downtrend, you broke in the downtrend, you've been consolidating out of the downtrend since July of this year, actually. You're like bullishly consolidating. You break above 0.006, like 64, you have like a 22% fast move to the upside. But really, if you scroll out again, these alt pairs have been in a downtrend since, a major downtrend since, its inception, like since it's been created. This has been in a major downtrend since 2017. You could see, some past fibs I had. I just fibbed the, believe, like, where I have these fibs from? Should have it from actually here. Looking at that, just that. And you can see some targets we could be retracing to. If you hit the 236, which I think you will. I think, like I said, this market is going to like take a lot of people by surprise. A lot of people are not prepared because they're expecting lower prices. But this, yeah, it looks like we're pivoting. And let's look at the weekly. You're not really showing any bullish signal on your weekly. More so if you look at a longer term from this peak low to this low. But you had some positive and negative MACD occurrences on your MACD, so I wouldn't even count that. But it just looks, you're looking at the daily, it looks like we'll see a rally in BCH. Another one I was looking at, EOS has really been performing the best for the past like month, honestly, since July. It hit its bottom. You could see the channel that it broke out of. It back tested it, and it has just been ripping and running ever since. And look at the longer term outlook on EOS. You can see that it has broken this, downtrend. This downtrend has been in since April 2018. It just looks like, as I keep saying, this market looks like it's pivoting. It's looking like we're going to see, more positive price action, and you start to look at the USD pairs for these assets. EOS is actually was in a channel downtrending channel. You're about to break out of that. You had the fake bearish breakdown, and you pivoted and you're rallying up. I mean, EOS could be seeing significant gains, and it is right now. It's actually a market leader right now. So EOS is one of these assets you keep your eye on. Maybe there's some development in the space that it's some institution getting involved, or maybe just people are starting to move into their NFT market. Maybe get into like Wax. Look at Wax. Haven't looked at this in a minute. I had another channel on YouTube, and I caught this move on Wax. I was very, very extremely bullish on Wax back in February 2021. You could see, actually, I believe I was buying Wax, around 4 cents, and rolled Wax to, I believe, like 40, 50 cents, whatever. But I don't see anything on a weekly time scale that's that's bullish on Wax. Look at the daily. We're at 9 cents right now. I mean, it's just value simply at the prices. Let me look at the Wax P, because that's really the pair right now for Wax, and it's actually on Binance now too. But KuCoin definitely has way more, probably more information. Yeah, just not seeing much. Maybe you're just pivoting and making a higher low. Your MACD, and you are getting some hidden bullish divergence on your MACD on the daily. Let's look at the 4-hour. Maybe there is a advantage on the 4-hour. There's not bullish divergence. So maybe you get one more sell off before you really run to the upside. But I can really do this all day and look at you know a whole list of these assets. I'm going to end off with Telos, just as I've been constantly been watching, and it's in this channel, this wedge actually, and it's trying to bullishly break out of this wedge. You see a couple of false breakouts to the upside. You might be getting something where you're starting to develop higher highs, higher lows. So you have your low back in July, and then if you could pivot here and then break this high around 23 cents, you could be developing like a three rise and valley type of pattern. It's, to me, the biggest thing right now is BTC, the fact that we are pivoting, the fact that we are showing all this divergence on significant time scales, on multiple indicators. It seems to me that we are going to more than likely pivot here. Could be absolutely wrong. We could just, like I said, test in 19,550 and roll back over. That will, we will see very soon how this market plays out. I think a lot of it was moving. Will move the crypto market. Will be the euro. So keep your eye on the euro. And that's really just what I'm seeing. Just wanted to do this video. Like I said before, just trying to get back into doing more content, showing what I'm seeing in these markets. Maybe this is just a weak rally in the euro, and you just roll over, and maybe a week. But I don't. Well, if we break this downtrend, it's going to be a significant rally in risk on assets. But that's what I'm seeing right now. I've been rambling and looking at different assets, but if you can get through this video, and I'm sitting here, a month, we're sitting here for a month now, and Bitcoin's at 30,000 or over 25K. Don't say I didn't tell you so. But that's what I'm seeing with these markets. Hopefully this is, bottom. Hopefully we get a significant, more significant rally. Hopefully this is a double bottom, and you could be setting your targets, around at least 36,000. We'll see, but that's what I'm seeing in these markets. And really, until next time, peace.